Now you're not going to see my image because what happened is this car inventory has what they call metadata that is mandatory. And so you have to enter in all of that mandatory metadata. Well, when we drag and drop, it doesn't prompt us for that metadata. If I had done an upload, it would have automatically prompted me for all of that metadata, but it didn't because I dragged and dropped. So it's just kind of a, something you learn as you work with the software. So now not only do I have the little green starburst here indicating it's new, I have a little green arrow down here indicating it's checked out. Because it's checked out, no one can see it except me. And it will remain checked out until I add that metadata. So that's something that those using this site would have to be trained on. They would have to understand that you have to fill in the metadata or no one's going to see what you've updated, what you've uploaded. So what we'll want to do next is if I click on the little ellipsis and click on the ellipsis again, I've got an option to go to properties. So we want to go to the properties. And now it brings up the list of all the metadata. So we need to fill all of this in. And now I can't see it. So I've updated all of that information, but I'm not seeing it. So one of the things we can do is we can also sort by all of these. So if I click on this modified heading, it will automatically sort everything. So now I have all the oldest ones at the top. If I click again, it's going to put the newest ones at the top. So now I can kind of find that. But it's still checked out. So still no one's going to see it except me, even though I have gone ahead and put in all of that metadata. If I check in front of this, I can go up to Files at the top. And I've got an option here to check in. So I'm going to go ahead and check it in. Click on OK. So now it shows up. There's no longer checked in. And if I click on Modified, then we should see all of them come up to the top. And everyone should be able to see mine now. If you don't see some of these tabs at the top, it's probably because you're no longer in that classic SharePoint. So some of that goes away with the new interface that they've created. So just something to keep in mind. Okay, so now let's say that you're the one who has to keep updated all of this information. And one of those big semis comes in here and they've got 8 vehicles and they're all the same. So you've got, 8 vehicles that are all, 2017 Buick Regals or whatever. And we have to enter all of that information. So how happy are you going to be if you have to enter each of these separately? I think there might be a little grumbling. Oh geez, I have to enter all of these again and again and again. Probably. So what you can do is there is a way that you can do basically a bulk edit of any of this data. Another thing to keep in mind is that, let's say down the road you're like, gee, it sure would be nice to know if this has leather seats or fabric, because everyone keeps asking that and it's not in here. The site owner can add additional metadata, but then you're going to have to fill all of that in. So it might be easier to have a way that you can edit multiple rows instead of having to go into each one. So what we would do is, that's going to be kind of a library feature because you want to do it on the whole library. So we're going to click on the Library tab at the top and click on Quick Edit. And now you'll notice it looks more like an Excel spreadsheet. And it's going to work like an Excel spreadsheet as well. So if you're familiar with some of the shortcuts in Excel, they will work here as well. So let's say these were all SUVs, and obviously we don't want to do this, but I could get down here in the corner, get that crosshair, I could click and drag and I could just make all of them SUVs. I had a gentleman in here one time who got in the 6-cylinder and made all my vehicles 6 cylinders. So there's a lot of junk data in here. So if you ever see something like this doesn't make sense, well, you know, keep in mind it's a training sandbox. So we've had a lot of people with their hands in here. So that's how you can come in here. And it does have, you know, you can see it still has the drop down, but you could come in here and drag down and make a lot of edits. And with it in this view, you can still click on any of the headings to sort. So that way you get all of your 4 cylinders, come to the top and so forth. So a lot of different ways of moving around. Once you're done, you just click on stop editing this list. And you're no longer in that edit mode and you're just in the view mode. Any questions on that? If you want just a quick view of any of your documents, if I just kind of come and click on the 3 ellipses beside it, it's going to give me a preview of that document. Since these are all graphic files of the vehicles, we're going to see a picture of all of these graphics. So that way you can check, oh yeah, this is the file I want to go into, this is what I want to edit. If I go back to my documents folder and I click on one of the ellipses, you'll actually be able to see some of the text. So if someone doesn't name their document very well, and you're trying to say, is this the document I want, or is that the document I want, all you have to do is click on those 3 dots, and you can kind of get a preview before you actually open it all up and get started going on things. So it might make it a little bit quicker to find the correct document that you're looking for. Some other options you have when you click on that, one is to open it. So if that's the right document you want, you can open it. One is to share, and we do not recommend this, but the idea behind that is you could say, oh, I know someone else who would want to look at this document, and you can click on share, but that really causes a lot of problems, so we suggest you don't do that. Another one is follow, and what that does is going to alert you to any changes. And we'll talk about alerts next. So alerts will allow you to set alerts so that if something changes, it's going to send you an alert and let you know that there's been a change. So that's a really nice feature. So on the top of page 14, we get to talking about alerts. You can set an alert on a document. You can set an alert on a whole app or folder, so the whole documents list you can set an alert on. You can set an alert on the whole entire SharePoint site. So the idea behind it is that you're going to get emails that tell you someone's changed something or someone's added something. So there's different types of alerts that you can set up. So if I select my document that I created here in the documents folder, I can come up to the file because I'm just looking at one document, not the whole library. And down in the middle here, I've got an icon for Alert Me. So it looks like a bell. If I click on Alert Me, I can set an alert on this document. If you want to give it a different title, you can give it a different title. The default is it's just going to send this alert to me. If there's multiple people who need to be alerted, you can set multiple names in here. Send me an alert by email. Then when we get down here, send me an alert when. This is where you can decide. When anything changes, and that means if you change it, it sends you an email saying you changed the document. So that's anything. When someone else besides me changes a document, when someone else changes a document that I created, or when someone else changes a document that I last modified. So you've got different options of how you want to be notified. Do you want it to send that notification immediately? You want to know right now? Do you want just a daily summary? So at the end of the day or the beginning of the day, it sends you a summary and says, here's all the changes. Do you just want a weekly summary? So at the beginning of the week or the end of the week or whatever, you can say, send me a summary, I want to know. So you've got a lot of different choices. You can even choose what time it's going to send you that email. So if you want it to send it to you at 2 in the afternoon, you can set it for 2 in the afternoon. So you've got lots of different options. And we'll click on OK. And now if anything changes with that document at 2 o'clock this afternoon, I'll get a message that tells me something has changed with that document. Another nice feature that's available with that is if you're using, say, the assignments, kind of like the to-dos or the tasks. So have you ever heard that expression, if you miss the meeting, we're going to assign stuff to you, or that ever happens? Well, what you can do is you can actually set alerts on this whole library. So if anyone assigns something to you, it will automatically send you an email. So we've done some testing with this, that works. So you can't anymore say, well, I didn't know, I wasn't at the meeting, because now you can set an alert on that. It can send you an email that says, guess what, you missed the meeting and now you have a task to do. So it's kind of a neat feature. So I'm going to go back to documents. If you look at page 15, I show kind of some screenshots of what those emails look like. So if you would look in your email right now, it's actually going to show you an email stating that you've created an alert. So it just basically sends you an email, you've created an alert, this is what it is. Then if something changes, or someone deletes it or whatever, you'll get an alert. So here it's showing that not only was my tulips document changed, but Bridget deleted it. So I can go back to Bridget and say, what are you doing? Why are you deleting my files? So you'll get an alert on that. So it's kind of like really nice that you can keep track of things. So if we want to delete something, so let's say I am ready to delete this training document. So I'm going to select that. There's a couple of different ways of doing it. We can do it through the ellipsis or we can do it through the menu. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Files, and there's an option here to delete document. Click on OK, and that deletes it. When it deletes it, it's going to put it into the recycle bin in the Sharepoint site. So it doesn't go to the recycle bin on your desktop, it goes to the recycle bin in the Sharepoint website. And it will stay there for approximately 30 days. So you can kind of dig it out of the trash for the next 30 days. So if you don't realize it's missing or you need it for 3 or 4 months, you're probably going to be out of luck. But it should be out there for about 30 days. So let's say we get that email message, someone's deleted this, we want to get it back. Well, okay, great, but where do I even find that recycle bin? It's almost like they have it hidden, like they don't want us to find that recycle bin. So once again, not real intuitive. So on the left-hand navigation, we're going to come down here to Site Contents, and this is on page 17. And in the upper right-hand corner, I have Recycle Bin. So if I click on Recycle Bin, it's going to show all the documents that have been deleted. And so now from here, if I want to restore them, I can put a check mark in front of it, click on Restore Selection, click on OK. So now if I go back to my Documents folder, it's back.
Thanks for watching. For more tech training videos, visit www.bgsu.edu/techtraining or subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out all of our other social media.